Man City are in the driving seat. Literally, they're in the driving seat. They're
from the passenger side.
Huh? Yeah, from the passenger side. Like the driver instructor has a set of pedals, and he, you know, at any moment he can just take over and say, "Okay, I'm in charge now." That's Manchester City. They're in the passenger seat, but they have the pedals. They have their pedals. They're controlling things. Don't worry about that. They're controlling things. They let Liverpool had their little time. They said, "Okay, you had fun. It's time to move aside now."
There was another game on the weekend, Man United against Liverpool. Wasn't a great game of football at all, but it was riddled with so many injuries, especially in the first half. 3 injuries in that first half. What does this do to both Man United and Man United's top 4 hopes, if anything, and Liverpool's title aspirations, if anything?
I mean, start of the season, halfway through the season, just before Mourinho got sacked, when Mourinho got sacked, I don't think I ever saw myself saying Man United will finish in the top 4, but I genuinely think that they will do it. Like, I genuinely do. I think Arsenal are now...
Fifth at the moment behind Arsenal.
Behind Arsenal.
Chelsea got a game in hand.
Yeah. I think Arsenal and Chelsea are gonna miss out on Champions League, and their only way back in is to win the Europa League. Because Man United, the reason why I say that is because Man United know that top 4 is their only route, because they're not in Europa League, they're in Champions League, and currently they're 2-0 down to PSG. Yeah, they lost at home. So getting through past PSG away from home with starting with 2-0 down is like, it's not really going to happen, is it? It's not really, like, even Solskjaer said in his conference, he said, I'm not going to say we're out, but it's not looking good.
You're going there to win, but
we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Then we're gonna fight. We're gonna put up a fight. But and obviously with the recent injuries as well, it's looking even less likely. And Pogba suspended. So it can't expect Man United to make it through. So they know that top 4 is their only way back into Champions League. And Man United, they would absolutely want to have Champions League football. Whereas Arsenal and Chelsea, they won't be so heavily reliant on top 4 because they know they have that Europa League. They can win the Europa League to get back into Champions League. So I think Man United is like all eggs in one basket kind of thing. And I think Man United will get there in the end. I mean, like, Ollie's had 10 Premier League games since he joined, 8 wins and 2 draws.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
6 points.
Yeah, 8 wins and 2 draws. And I mean, like, I know they drew to Liverpool, and then they got another tough game coming up.
The next game is Palace away.
That's a tough game. You've seen Palace play.
What you're talking about?
Yeah,
I don't know, because I know
they are
we've got Man
fire.
City in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Palace away. Because of the FA Cup.
Yeah, but
Arsenal's your next big game.
But
Arsenal's the next big game.
When is that?
After we play Tottenham. So
the week after? Okay.
Arsenal not really a big game though, is it? It's not really a big game.
They didn't beat us at Old Trafford, so
got
things have changed now. Things have changed now. But no, I can see Man United making top 4, obviously with Spurs, Liverpool and Manchester City. But with Liverpool drawing, and I wouldn't say a game that they should have won, because I wasn't expecting them to win. Like, after the form Man United have picked up since Ole's been put in charge, I never thought, Liverpool's going to win this game. Like, I actually thought it was going to be a draw. But as the match went on and Man United got injuries and their substitute got substituted, I said, Liverpool have to win this game. Like, they should win this game. Yeah, it was 100%. It was, and they didn't take it. And then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, now they're only a point ahead of Manchester City. All the games are level. I can't see anyone else other than Manchester City now. Man City are in the driving seat. Literally, they're in the driving seat. They're
from the passenger side.
Huh? Yeah, from the passenger side. Like, the driver instructor has a set of pedals, and he at any moment he can just take over and say, "Okay, I'm in charge now." That's Manchester City. They're in the passenger seat, but they have the pedals. They're controlling things. Don't worry about that. They're controlling things. They let Liverpool had their little time. They said, "Okay, you had fun. It's time to move aside now." I can't. I can't see Liverpool winning every game from now to the end of the season. They're gonna drop points, and if they're gonna drop points, Man City are gonna capitalise. Like,
Man City could drop points too.
They could.
They've dropped points.
They
in
could.
The last.
I think they're both.
they
both got to play Spurs. Man City still have to play Manchester United at Old Trafford. I think that's Man City got. And obviously they beat Chelsea 6-0 already. I think that's the last year. So I think Spurs and Man United they've got, and the Liverpool's got Spurs. But even outside of that,
there's Merseyside derby this weekend coming.
Liverpool, Everton. So it's like I think there are, and even outside of those games, Liverpool got to play Chelsea. Okay, even outside of those games, I think there's always risk. There's always risk. I think Wolves.
You can't just look at the big games.
Etihad.
You can't just look at the big games. It's this. The thing is, and even more. I think it's weird because with Man City, I'm not looking at the big games for them. I'm more looking at the other games because they're so good against the big teams, especially the past couple of seasons. So maybe it's the case more for Liverpool away from home. Have they beaten a big side away from home? They beat Chelsea? Did they beat Chelsea in the last minute, or was that a draw? Sturridge?
1-1 draw.
Drew
lost to Man City, drew Man United.
Drew at the Emirates.
Beat Spurs.
Yeah, so they've only won one game away from home against a big team. So it's maybe a bit more honest on them to now step up and actually beat a big team on the route to the title. But for me, it was 2 points drop for Liverpool.
Based on even pre-game?
No, during the game. Like you got to see it how it is as the game progresses, really. And as you get into half time, I know Klopp said the injuries kind of ruined the flow. I think I agree with that in the first half it did, because it was so much stop and start, so it's so hard to build a run. But you go in at half time, you know that Man United used all their subs. Rashford is on his last legs anyway, so you're playing with pretty much 10 men because Rashford's not at his full. You've got to go for it. You've got to go for the win. And his side didn't look like they were going to step up the level at all in that second half. So I think Liverpool will have to look at it as 2 points dropped going into this title race, and Man City will look at that and be happy with that. Looking at that game, they'll be looking at it and saying, "Okay, Liverpool are struggling to do it." And it's not just this game. The past 6 weeks they've been poor. Yeah, like they've got through. Don't know how they managed to get through against Crystal Palace. Yeah, they drew with Leicester, drew with West Ham. So yeah, for me and Man United's point of view, it's I don't know. It's obviously they had to accept that really going into that second half. The best they could get was a draw. I don't think it was going to be tough for them to get us out. It was the onus of them was just to keep out Liverpool, really, and I guess job done in that aspect. But for me, this race for top 4 is tough, man.
Do you think Chelsea and Arsenal will, at some point, maybe not this round, possibly the next round, when more of the big teams start playing each other, will they then start focusing more on the Europa League?
Whilst there's a possibility for top 4, I don't think so. Whilst like right.
But will they play the strongest team in one or the other, or just both? Or
I think it's both. I think, like I said, whilst the top 4 is still realistic, very realistic, like not 5-6 points, within it, like in reach distance, I think they will have to go for both. It's a bit like Champions League, like you don't rest up players in the Premier League if you're going for the League and Champions League. I don't think Man City will rest up players in the League and Champions League. I think you have to just go full strength for both and hope to get both, just because you never know which ways either's going to go. So I think both teams, Chelsea and Arsenal, will have to go for both, unless obviously Europa League you have a good lead in the first leg or whatever and you can rest up, but that ain't easy these days, boy. Sometimes you struggle in them first legs of the Europa Leagues and you have to put out the full strength in both games,
Party, bro.
Sometimes you have to just go full strength full out, boy. You never know what's gonna happen, man.
Listen, I'll tell you about Europa League ain't easy, It's actually like what the reality is, you're in there for a reason. Like whoever's in there, you're in there for a reason.
It's not easy because they got that nonsense rule where the Champions League players come down, the Champions League teams come down as well. Europa League.
But I mean, like you would look at a team like, you should walk over there, and you go away from home, and then like we went to Saint Etienne. I want to say Young Boys, but I don't think we did. It was another team. I can't remember now. Fenerbahce, I think it might have been, or someone else. And I'm like, yeah, let's get a good result from home. And you scrape for over 1-1 and you're like, oh, take that away goal. Fair enough, you come back home, but you wipe it 4-0, 4-1, that kind of stuff. But them away trips can be... and really, as I said, you're there for a reason, because whether it was last season or whatever, you weren't good enough. You just weren't good enough. And the year that we won the Europa League, Man United, we were 6th in the league. So even that year, we just weren't good enough. So you can't expect to... be 6th in the Premier League. Let's blitz the Europa League. You're not good enough, innit?
Listen, them fans, they'll get behind that team away from home. The pitch is terrible. Blitz, freezing cold, gloves out and everything, and it's a different environment. And even the Champions League, when you see it, when like teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich go to these away games, Champions League, and they're losing, you think, "Rah, how Bayern lost this game?" And then at home they win 6-0. It's like.
It's just not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I went to the second leg at the Emirates against Barté, and it was like, they had 1 or 2 opportunities, but overall, I mean, like they barely got the ball, like, because it was just you sit there, you think, as a footballing team, they're not great, but when the support is behind them, and but there was about 20 people. 20 Barté fans. I counted them. There was literally about 20 of them in the stadium.
Must have you counted them.
You can see them coming out about 20, 25, and then they had about 1 or 2 songs. But their fans knew, hey, you know what? We done our thing in it at home. Innit? It's not gonna happen, but you know what I mean. So Europa League's not easy, but I think going back to the Premier League. See, I did predict Man United will finish in top 4 at the start of the season.
So did I.
But listen, Tottenham could fall back into this race, you know.
Come on, please.
I don't deal with if buts and maybes. However, wait. Let me say one point. I don't deal with if buts and maybes. However, Tottenham got 2 big games now. They got Chelsea and they got Arsenal in the next 2 games. Now, if they don't win, I'm not doing if buts and maybes, but it's somehow.
I heard a butt in there.
Should Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea win the next 2 games, boy.
What's the table? Are you going right?
Yeah. So,
listen, Ramone.
What's it? Go on, Carl. Say your point.
You ridiculed Anika for flip-flopping his favourites for the Champions League. And all I'm hearing from you is 1 week Spurs are in the title race, the next week they're down.
I've never said Spurs in the title race.
Whoa.
I have never said Spurs in the title race. I said, why are we talking about Spurs in the title race? It's every other week they're in it, every other week they're out of it. Like, they need to make up their mind whether they're going for top 4 or they're going for the. I never said they're in it. Listen, my top 4 was Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. All I'm saying right now,
for me, they're not even in the top 4.
What I'm saying is that is a realistic possibility.
Right now, they're more in the title race than they're in a top 4 race.
What's the?
So they're 6 points behind Liverpool now.
Yeah, and 5 behind Man City, right?
And 5 behind Man City.
But they still got Man City and Liverpool to play. They have to play Man City and play Liverpool. And I'm saying if they beat them both,
they have to play Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah, so they're in the title race. They're in more in the title race than they're in the top 4 race.
So at the moment, Arsenal are 7 points behind Tottenham. Tottenham playing Chelsea on Wednesday,
and Chelsea got a game in hand.
Chelsea
win that,
they'll be 11 points of Arsenal.
Okay.
So Arsenal and Chelsea will both be 7 points behind Spurs.
Happily 7 points behind Spurs.
Yeah. So if Chelsea and Arsenal both beat Spurs,
1 point.
1 point.
If they both win their next 2 games.
Yeah, and then Man United are only a point behind them.
Yeah.
So we're talking potential 1 point between 2 points between Arsenal.
I'm hearing if buts and maybes here.
Listen, I don't deal with that, innit? I don't deal with that. but I should.
That sentence started with but.
Listen. Right now, I'm not dealing with it. So right now, I'm not ruling them out. Next podcast, let's have a conversation because
you got 2 games on
we may be talking about a 4-horse top 4 race, man. We may be talking about Tottenham top of the league by then, but you know. Listen, I do think Arsenal will get it.
Do you think? Can you see? I'm saying it with a smirk, like you're not.
I do think Arsenal.
So you're saying Man United and Chelsea won't get it?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I do think Arsenal will get it.
Remember, Spurs might drop out. So Man United and Arsenal could get it.
No, but he's not dealing with the if buts and maybes right now. He's not.
Spurs drop out. Manchester United may get as well as Arsenal.
Guys, I'm hearing a lot of clutching.
It's going to be tough.
A lot of clutching.
I feel like most people have ruled out Arsenal from finishing in the top 4, which I understand in terms of the way Arsenal have been playing. but the way the Premier League is, it's so. Man United have now got injuries left, right, and centre. That Palace game isn't now a win you expect to get. It could be a draw you might have to take.
That just brought me back to, remember the last time we were at Palace with Man United? I don't say the last time. This was 2017, I think it was. And Ibrahimovic and Pogba scored late to win it. And the Man United fans...
Did Matic score in that game?
No, that was last season.
That was last season.
The year before.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Ibrahimovic scored last minute winner. And then you're in the Man United fan come back to it.
Oh, we're gonna win the quad! We're gonna win the quad! Yeah, you went mad.
We got two. We got the League Cup and the Europa League. My man was like, we're gonna win the quad. But yeah, it's not gonna be easy at all.
Yeah,
it's not.
You have to look at every single game.
I'm going game by game.
Yeah, we're playing Bournemouth on Wednesday. You know, you're hoping. Yeah, at home. You hope to win that. You never know what team's gonna turn up. Like you just don't know. In this Chelsea are playing Spurs. That literally could go either way.
Who's at home for that game?
Chelsea at home.
Spurs got that.
Arsenal going to Wembley on Saturday.
I'm looking for 2 draws in those London derbies.
Right.
And I hope Man United, because we've got Palace and then I can't remember the second game.
And then Arsenal.
No, weekend. We got a game on the weekend. Arsenal plays
Palace, and then you got Southampton at home.
Yeah, so I mean, the Palace game it's not going to be easy at all. I would never take a point, but depending on results of like Arsenal and Chelsea and Spurs, you know, obviously they're playing. You might just settle and say, you know what, we move in it, but we have to obviously go into Palace to win. But we've got, as you said, we've got Matic, Herrera, Mata, Lingard, and Rashford. They're most likely to miss the Palace game, and then obviously the weekend as well. Martial had a chance of making the Liverpool game, so I would hope he's in the squad for the Paris game. But I'm just like, don't risk him. If he ain't fit enough to play, don't risk him, because we can't afford 6 of them out for 2-3 weeks.
If you don't risk him, you might not win the game.
Doesn't matter. But you don't win that game. Cool. Say you do play him and you still don't win, or even if you do win, he gets injured. Then you got 6 man out for 3-4 weeks. Then you're just out of everything. Out FA Cup, out this, out that. So if we happen to drop points at Palace and not risk Martial, and then we can get him back for the Southampton, Man City, Arsenal, those games after, then so be it, innit? But yeah, for me, obviously, yeah, as I said, we've got 3 youngsters as well getting called up. Chong, Gomez, and Garner. Apparently, they're going to be in the squad for the midweek game. But yeah, it's going to be Lukaku, Sanchez, possibly Martial, Pogba, Pereira, McTominay. Fred can't get a game, so I don't know what I'm going there.
Is he any good?
I don't know. I've only seen bits and bobs, and he didn't look great. But then I ain't seen him. But the reality is, Mourinho stopped playing him before he left, and Solskjaer ain't playing. So if he is good, he ain't showing it in training. So there's no more I can say on that. I can't actually. I don't know. I don't know how good or how bad he is. I guess time will tell. But yeah, in terms of that game on the weekend, Liverpool, it's a missed opportunity for them, because for me, going in a run of form, like up until the PSG game, I was like, we're going to beat Liverpool, we're going to beat Man City at home. Not because of the result of the PSG game, but both Martial and Lingard got injured in that game, and I saw how much we missed them against PSG. I was like, you know what? I'll take a draw against Liverpool. And then going into the Liverpool game, Matic is injured. So I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely take a draw. Then in the game, Herrera, Mata, Lingard comes on. I think it was wrong from Solskjaer to actually bring on Lingard. He should have brought on Sanchez, because he brought him on Lingard, and Lingard would have to play like another 70 minutes, including at the time. So I think that was an error on his part. But we were comfortable. Liverpool didn't. I think they had one shot on target. Didn't actually test the hair, if you think about it. And we created a better chance in that game. Lingard had one. Obviously, there was an own goal, but it was given offside against Smalling. There was many chances in the game, but yeah, Salah was pocketed by Luke Shaw. Not the first time he pocketed by Man United left back. First Ashley Young, I think, last season actually. He was pocketed by Ashley Young, and this time by Luke Shaw. So another game, no goal in the big games, like 8 games against the top 6 and he got 1 goal this season. Who was that against? Was it against you lot? Who scored against you lot? No, was that Ramone? I can't remember.
Firmino.
What, Salah?
No, maybe it was Salah against possibly Spurs, maybe.
Can't remember.
Possibly Spurs, probably Spurs. But yeah, 1 goal against in 8 games against the Big 6. So another game where he's dropped a big L. Man got subbed off in the end.
Yep.
And he didn't refuse to come off. But anyway, that's we've been there. But yeah, Liverpool, they're dashing it away. They're actually, they're dashing it away. They were.
But Man United away is not an easy game.
Huh?
Man United away is not an easy game.
Cool. But Man United B team away is easier than. The thing is, it's not even about the result. First and foremost, they at no point did it even look like winning the game.
Oh, it was Arsenal on the 5-1.
Oh, okay.
One goal.
There's they didn't look like winning the game, and you're going for a title against a depleted team, 10.5 men in that second half with Rashford limping around, and you don't look like you're going to get a goal at all. Like, and you add that to the previous, let's say, 3 out of the last 4 performances, excluding the Bournemouth one. They've been very, very shaky. This whole calendar year they've been shaky. Lost to Man City, of course, out of the FA Cup. Drew 2 Premier League games, well, before the Man United game, which makes it 3. So for me, yeah, I agree. Man City are. I make Man City the favourites, but in reality, Liverpool still got a point at the top of the table. It's whether it's theirs to lose or whatever. For me, it's been theirs to lose from the moment they started the year. 7 points claimed. Was it 7 points claimed, Man City? Or was it 10? It was 7.
It was 10. It was 10 before Man City's game.
Because with the,
10 no, it was 7.
No, it was 7.
It was 7.
So no, it was 10. It was 10 at Christmas before Man City played the day after.
Oh, okay.
So basically, there was a stage of the season where 10 points clear, but Man City had a game in hand.
But at the turn of the year, when same amount of games, it was 7 points. They had a chance to go 10, and pretty much since that point, they've done nothing but try to throw away the league, and they're successfully doing so.
I wouldn't say play Man City away from home is a chance to go 10.
Why is it not a chance to go 10?
Away to Man City.
Why is it what?
But if you beat Man City, you go 10 points.
Yeah,
but it's not a chance. Of
course it's a chance. I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah,
but of course it's a chance.
For me, if you beat Man City, the league is yours.
It is.
That's yours.
It is.
They couldn't even do that. They couldn't even do that at Anfield, and you went to do it at Etihad.
How much do you want to win the league? If you're not going,
they tried at Anfield and couldn't do it.
Man City lost at home to Crystal Palace. Why can't Liverpool beat them?
They were messed about, man. I told you, they were letting them have their fun. The games are over now. The games are finished.
But yeah, I think Man City for me favourites, but Liverpool have really messed it up.
They're throwing it away.
Yeah, they're throwing it away. It's as simple as that. And they may come back by, they might end up and go on this mad run, but I literally just can't see it. The performances are not there.
The levels are dropping.
Yeah,
that's more than the results. It's the performances and the levels of the team. Like Salah, Mane, and Firmino aren't on all.
But that's what I said at the start. But this is exactly what I said at the start of the season, and even when maybe 7, 10, 13, 15 games in, and I was saying it Liverpool may be matching Man City blow for blow. Okay, now and then at a point when they got to the top of the table, they're at the top of the table. Then they're 4 points, and then there was 7 points clear. And I said it. Man City have the squad depth to go the whole season. You've seen it. Sane gets dropped in a blink. Mahrez comes in. Bernardo comes in. De Bruyne is back. They have, what I'm saying. They had and Liverpool are relying on 3 front men for the entire season. This was always going to happen. This was always going to happen. That's
not what people were saying.
I was saying it though.
People were saying that Sturridge came on and scored against Chelsea. Origi came on to score against Everton.
You can't rely on them, man.
Shaqiri came on to score against Man United. They've got a squad now. It's not just the front three.
Fabinho, they bought Keita, they bought Alisson.
The strength.
No, in midfield they have. I'm not gonna lie, they have. But it's goals that win you the games. Like your midfield and your defense could be so solid, and they don't concede good enough. But it's goals that win you the game. You're not going to win on not conceding. And they're relying on 3 front men for the entire season.
At the beginning of the season, I said, Liverpool have a better squad depth than they did last year. But Man City's squad depth will see them through. That's what I feel over a Premier League season. It's really about strength and depth. Over a cup, yes, you get your best 11 out for that cup game, you can go through and win it. But for a season, you just squad depth. And for me, right now, Man City's squad depth is coming to the fore. They've been missing, as I said, all those players. For Mendy, for example, out for bare the season. De Bruyne missed so many games this season. I don't know if he's got to double figures in terms of appearances in the league. And so they drop points. Fernandinho's out. They drop points against Palace and Leicester, etc. They lose to Newcastle as well.
Guerrero had his time on the sidelines. Jesus came in.
But now those players are now coming back. Some of them fresh because they barely even played. Liverpool's players.
Exactly. When Aguero was out for that little stint, the guy come back. The guy got 2 hat tricks.
Yeah,
one against. He got 2 hat tricks in the week. Man, come back from injury.
And I did triple captain him.
Man, come back from injury and 2 hat tricks. I was saying you can't. You can't mess with.
Fans at the start of the season were saying they've got the squad.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and during the season,
you're cool. And I'm like, no, you don't. And they're saying, well, now Naby Keita's finding the form. All right, but when you compare to the Man City players, you compare Naby Keita now finding form compared to De Bruyne now coming back. It's a different ballpark there, different ballpark.
And this is the thing. And I feel like Klopp is trying to play these big games safe, and you can't do that.
You can't.
Because you can't just go and when you're going for a title, you need to start winning big games. It's not okay to just draw every single big game and get away with it. Like, you got to stop.
We spoke about this.
Yeah, remember,
like, you can't just win all the small games,
and you can't
because you end up dropping points there. So you have to win the big game.
Start going for them. And
but they're usually good at beating the big teams.
They were last season. Yeah, opposite way. But the reality is the consistency.
Yeah.
Last season they were beating the big teams, couldn't always beat the small teams.
Yeah.
Now they're not even winning the big games. And you're always gonna drop games. Yeah. It's impossible.
But I feel like Klopp's mindset has changed from this year saying, let's make sure we beat the small teams and get away with something against the big teams, and maybe in the last 15 minutes throwing out all the eggs in one basket and trying to get the win.
Last season was much more.
Yeah, you need to go with that mentality. They last season went in the mentality from minute one. Go, wrap it up by half time. Like, that's what they did. They done it once to Arsenal this season.
Yeah, if they did that this season, they're definitely not winning the league, bro.
But in the big games,
because they're gonna. Yeah, it might do.
In the small games, it's fine, cool.
Yeah,
take it. But in the big games, go for it. That Man City
it just means that their players
even go for the win.
It just means that their players are gonna burn out even quicker.
But you have a 10-point gap. You do that. You have a 10-point gap. There's more gap to burn.
But then maybe if that's your mind, if that's what you're saying, Carl, then they ain't got the squad depth. Then they definitely don't have the squad depth, because if their players are going to burn out, then they have to bring other players in to cater for that, and they're obviously not doing it.
They need to buy at least 2 wingers.
How do they still need to buy spend more money on these players when
bro, they have 3 forwards in a 3-forward formation.
At the top of the league, bro.
Not for long. They can't sustain it.
The top of the league, and they still. Listen. The only reason why for me they need to strengthen is because Man City squad is so much better.
If they had a winter break, cool. Because, for instance, like Barcelona and Real Madrid,
they've been on 2 summer vacations already.
Winter vacations.
Winter vacations to summer destinations in Dubai. They've had 2, not 1. They dropped out of the FA Cup to have 1. They forced themselves out of the FA Cup to go on the break.
No, they weren't well. They had
the winter break already.
They had to go get rid of the flu in the back of their throat.
So they've had the winter break already. They've had 2 winter breaks, and they're coming back.
Bro, it's not. Bro, have you had the flu? Your bones are hurting. You need some sun in you, bro. They weren't well.